Hi, I'm Sarah with Dandelion Seeds Positive Parenting, and I wanted to come and talk for just a minute about a post that I shared the other day because I got some questions about it. So I thought, what better way to answer them than to talk to you? So here I am. The post that I'm talking about is the one where I talked about instead of when you're upset with your child, having a long discussion with them, try to consolidate your concern into a single problem statement before you approach your child rather than heat of the moment response with what's going on. So let me give you a couple of examples of what a one sentence problem statement would look like. I have three examples in mind, but I'm happy to brainstorm with you more if you have any that you want to throw out there for me. So one example is you walk into a room where your child has been playing or spending time, and the room is a disaster. It looks like a tornado has come through and there are toys or whatever all over the place. Sometimes it is really tempting as the adult to walk in and say, "What happened in here? It's a mess. Oh my goodness. Can you please just clean this stuff up? I don't want to spend all my time cleaning. This is not fair. It's not fair to anybody because we trip on the stuff and we fall down and we can break our necks." And we start going into this whole tirade because we have a big emotional response to what we see in front of us. So here's what I suggest instead. When you walk into the room, pause for a second and see if you can come up with, in a single sentence, what you might say instead. So in this example, I might use my coping tools, my healthy coping skills to regulate my nervous system so I don't have that big blah response to my child. And then I say in a single sentence something like, "I am noticing that there is a lot of stuff on the floor, and I am concerned that somebody might trip." Single sentence. You avoid ranting, you avoid lecturing, and instead you can go straight into problem solving with a child once you have your problem statement out. So from there, you can get into what should we do about it? Or do you want to handle that section? I'll handle this section, whatever it is, depending on the age and maturity level of your child. There are lots of different ways to proceed with that. I recommend playful parenting. I've got a separate mini course about that that you're welcome to check out. The link is in my profile or on my website if you haven't been there for a while. But anyway, second example that I will share is, let's say it's report card time. And if your child is going to school and all of a sudden you see that they have gotten a grade that you weren't expecting, and perhaps it's not as good as you were hoping it would be. And it might not even have to be a report card. It might just be an exam grade, a test grade, a quiz grade, something like that. And you're feeling disappointment. Your disappointment might come out as, "Oh, we worked so hard on this, and I can't believe you got this grade. It's so much lower than we were hoping for. And oh, didn't you study hard enough? What happened?" Next thing you know, you're doing the same thing. You're kind of ranting. Your child is probably feeling smaller and smaller and smaller the more you go on, because, of course, no child wants to bring home a bad grade to their parents. So instead, what you might try is, once again, regulate yourself first. And when you approach your child, you can boil it down to a single problem statement, as in, and here's one where I don't recommend anything other than factual description of what you see. "I noticed you failed your test. I noticed you got 3 out of 10 on this quiz you took." And then be quiet, let your child talk, and you can go into problem solving mode together and let your child share their perspective without judgment from you, and listen to what they have to say. Perhaps they have something to say that would be beneficial for you to know before you go into problem solving mode together about that. Last scenario I will throw out there for how to boil down something big into a single problem statement might be something like sibling rivalry. You see that Let's say you've got a son and a daughter and they are wrestling, but the wrestling is getting a little bit out of control and the kids are starting to get, shall I say, less than gentle with one another. It is tempting to dive in, break it up physically, which sometimes, to be clear, sometimes you do need to do that if somebody's safety is in jeopardy. But dive in, break it up. What are you doing? You go over there, you go over there. I can't believe you're doing this again. Can't you find some peaceful way to work it out? Don't you see that your sister is getting upset? Don't you see that your brother got an LU when you did that? And again, you can imagine how that would feel to the children. That's not going to help them regulate. That's not going to help them problem solve. Instead, get the kids safe and single problem statement. I noticed things were getting a little wild over there. I noticed your sister didn't seem to be liking it when you were pulling her hair. I noticed that your brother got a big scratch on his arm. There are lots of ways to talk about what you see in a way that will feel less threatening emotionally to your child, more peaceful and more collaborative. Because when we go in as the parent or as the caregiver talking and talking and talking, we know that the kids often lose the message just like we do as adults if somebody comes at us with too many words when we are not in a regulated state. So I hope that helps clarify and give you a couple of examples of what a single sentence, a single problem statement would look like. And happy to chat with you if you have questions or want to brainstorm about your scenario. Have a good day.